All right, 2 videos in one day. Who would have thought of it, huh? Who would have thunk it? Listen, I really feel the need to comment because about a half hour ago, I went totally, absolutely hypomanic, popped my cork at a nurse who came up and asked if she could bandage my leg. Please, had just finished my one and only coffee of the morning, rolled up here under the tree, start my morning chill. Hopefully going to get a nap because I rarely sleep more than an hour or two at a time, day or night. I was just chilling out when here comes somebody with the questions, just like yesterday with Melissa. I've already mentioned that in the last video. Yes, we know you have a small penis. You know, if the cops enforce the noise rules on mufflers in this town, there would be about 1,000 less motorcycles and dumbass sports cars out there taking over our lives for a minute. But let me get to the point here. Senior white lady nurse comes up showing concern. But see, every time you do that, as I told her too, is one of the first things that you do is you trigger my psychopath analysis. The minute you open your mouth offering me some kind of help or assistance, all the wiring in my head, because I am the Jew boy that just got shivved in the neck with an ice pick 2 weeks ago, okay? Because I wouldn't suck somebody's Jesus or kiss his ass or move into his... Actually, he asked me to move into his house. That ain't gonna happen. So anytime, it's really, because it's getting worse, it's always been, anytime you ask if you can help me, you're lighting up every neuron in my brain because of the attempted murder. You're just making me look you up and down to see whether you're the next psychopath that wants to invade my life and make it a living hell. I went ballistic on the woman, and I'm not going to apologize. Why? That would be a lie. You came up. I didn't ask you to. My back is turned to the entire crowd. Everybody, there's no invitations here. I'm not inviting anybody to come up to me. You know, I'm not making eye contact. Not even making eye contact, even with the lady I just got through caught snorting speed or coke in her own vehicle. Come on, man. Pretty easy to. And I had to once again, I had to explain to a complete fucking stranger who doesn't know that I'm the one that saved my foot from the doctor who deliberately caused the catastrophic failure of the skin graft that he was in charge of, that I know that my leg is open right now. If you could see it there, kind of. Right now, it's getting the UV radiation that I want to keep it sterile. It's not infected. Almost any idiot can tell by looking at it that there's nothing wrong with it. It's not infected. There is no redness. There is no pus. It's not even exuding enough. But and I had to explain to her, is that, I've got bandages. I'll bandage it when the fuck I feel like bandaging it. I do sometimes. But at a certain point, when I decide, not when you decide or you want to play hero, healthcare hero. Hi, healthcare heroes. You saved us from COVID, a statistically irrelevant virus that this country went like $14 trillion into debt. Just handed it over to the military-industrial complex, which owns Big Pharma. Yeah, just talking about this shit's getting my blood pressure up. Look, before 2 years ago, I had never seen the bizarre shit and the weeps and seeps that edema will cause. They will actually even, tear up under the skin and actually move horizontally on a limb, like on a leg. I couldn't, the fluid started building up behind an old skin graft. And first it moved, some of it actually moved 6 inches before it finally busted out of the skin and began what they call weeping or seeping. I prefer to use the term seep because that's what it's doing. I have absolutely there's no benefit to me to bandage that seep right now. It's a fairly large seep. It's not getting any smaller. Bandaging it will actually stop the outflow of the highly proteinaceous, sticky, lymph combination. I think it's a combination of plasma and lymph fluid that comes out. And so I went off on the woman. I mean, I'm sure she had the best intentions, but like I said, every time somebody says that they want to help me, my psychopath detectors and warners just go off. That means I'm watching you like a hawk, everything you do. I saw it last time. I ignored so many things like the pill rolling. The guy was pill rolling like a fucking meth. He was actually clearly was on meth. It wasn't just from playing stringed instruments. And in the end, he had some accomplice, stick an ice pick in my neck while he had a solid alibi somewhere. He actually thought I was accusing him of murder, attempted murder, that I'm that fucking stupid. Please, dude, I got all the screenshots. Maybe I'll read them on here sometime in the future. But dude, you're one sick puppy. So lady, nurse lady, COVID hero, healthcare hero. Like I told her, you see this white hair? Didn't come out of a shoe polish, white shoe polish bottle. It came from decades of being in libraries and reading the National Library and a ton of field experience. I'm a really good medic. It's Melissa. You told me to keep the Kotexes or whatever. They make a super heavy duty bandage. No, I threw that insult away because actually tampons were invented by the French to plug up bullet holes and other big wounds. If you're going to use Kotex, you need to use the old style that was back from the 50s and 60s, where they weren't these thin pad things. Those thin pads shit ain't worth anything in a wound. They're absolutely useless unless you throw a ton of kaolinite in there to begin the clotting. So all you healthcare heroes and shit like that want to, please, and everybody, please try to remember that when you ask if you can do something for me, you're triggering, you're getting me from a calm state, and you're just triggering me to watch everything you do and say, because while Pflugerville has the normal amount of psychopaths, 1% to 2%, I'm figuring 2% now, and Austin has pockets of 50 to 80% all over town of psychopaths. Please just remember that every time that you offer to do something for me or something, unless you're giving me like cash money and walking away like the lovely young lady did just a minute ago, unless you're really giving me something that gives me control over what I pick and what I eat, and you're clearly not trying to invade my life like the young lady a little few minutes ago. She wasn't trying to invade my life. She was just trying to chat me up for a few minutes and then go about her business. But if you come on like you're my healthcare hero and you're here to bandage me up and tend to me and do all this other kind of shit to me, or help me out, or then you make me worry that you're a psychopath, and I might end up this time with a successful ice pick in the neck. If you think that I ain't been through this shit a million times, I spent 2 years living on the streets of Austin. And every time somebody asked if they, like when I was in a wheelchair or stuff, I knew that every time somebody asked if they could help me, I have mobility problems. It's pretty clear often that I can't move, can't even get up to go to the store, go get food, stuff like that. But one thing I've learned, that even people that are financially better off than me. When they asked me if they could do something for me or shit like that, every one of them wanted to get into my pocket. Every one of them wanted whatever was in my pocket. Every time you ask if you can do something for me, you're just triggering all my alerts to look out for psychopathic behavior on your part. So I think I've made the statement here, and it's taken me about 11 minutes. Please, shekels work best. I get to pick the foods, the materials, the stuff like that, and I don't have to put up with your fucking interrogation. Because to tell you the truth, I'm tired of being interrogated. You know, some of you people ask some really inappropriate fucking questions that are none of your fucking business. Okay? You're a fucking psychopath. Running to you all the time. It's slowing down now, and I want it to actually completely fucking stop. Honestly, leave me alone. Like I said before, there's a dumpster. If I need food, I know when they're putting and I'll go ahead and continue to have the diarrhea from the garbage food. So either give me shekels or fucking let's talk about science or poetry or literature or something like that. But I'm not going to talk about you being my savior and my healthcare hero or putting a roof over my head or doing some other. That's just probably not going to be happening. You know, because all you're doing is just triggering, keeping me on hyper alert to watch out for the fucking next ice pick in the neck.